Hi guys, in this video we're going to look at cleanliness and hygiene in the maintenance of health and the suppression of disease. We're firstly going to talk about a little bit of history, then some personal hygiene, food preparation, as well as community hygiene to finish it off. So firstly, a little bit of history. Many of the ancient civilizations had practices that were passed down from generation to generation that stopped the spread of disease. So for example, the Romans had a fairly high standard of cleanliness. They had flushing toilets. They had clean water brought in through aqueducts. The Egyptians had actually written down in the hieroglyphics, we can see some of the processes for cleanliness that they have that are explained there. So all these ancient civilizations knew in some way that cleanliness was related to the control of the spread of disease. They didn't actually know what caused the spread of disease, and up until a little over 100 years ago, people actually thought that bad smells created disease. So when the plague, the doctors would walk around with suits on that had big long noses, and in the noses they had sweet smelling flowers so that they didn't have to smell the death around them and then catch the disease from that smell. Now we know a little bit more about this. We know about microorganisms, we know about pathogens, so we're a bit better at preventing disease through cleanliness than these past civilizations. Preventing disease starts with personal hygiene. So that is the hygiene that each individual person is responsible for themselves. This includes washing your hands, in particular after you go to the toilet, before eating food, after touching animals, bathing regularly, as well as brushing teeth. All of these prevent disease through the suppression of those microorganisms. So by washing, you can get rid of those microorganisms. Also, covering your mouth when sneezing and disposing of rubbish, especially tissues when you're sneezing, then stops that transmission of disease. So that works twofold, that personal hygiene. Falling somewhere into the realm between personal hygiene and public hygiene is food preparation. So food is fairly easily contaminated, and this is the basic stuff, like when you drop a steak in the dirt and you can see that it's been contaminated, but also those microscopic organisms that can get on your food to contaminate it. For example, when you use the same knife to cut vegetables after cutting raw chicken. So therefore it's important to have particular guidelines and safe food practices in the kitchen. Some of these include washing your hands, and this goes into the personal hygiene before, as well as washing your utensils and bowls and all the things that you're using, making sure that perishables such as meat and milk and things like that are stored in the fridge so they don't go off, and not eating food dropped on the ground, as I mentioned earlier. So going into that community hygiene, looking on a public level. Ultimately, governments are the ones that are responsible for the community hygiene. You can have the best personal hygiene of anybody around, but if you live in maybe a poor slum area where there isn't any running water and you're very crowded, this is going to cause disease to move through and you'll be susceptible. So this can include the living conditions, so whether you're on top of each other, air pollution, as well as sanitation. Sanitation is probably one of the real key issues here. So that includes access to clean drinking water, as well as the correct disposal of wastewater and sewage. So these are very, very important for health, because especially that sewage, if that isn't disposed of in the right way, it can harbour many, many pathogens which will cause you to get sick. In this video, we've talked about health and hygiene. We've talked about how ancient civilizations, even though they didn't know what the cause of disease was, had cleanliness practices to maintain health within the population. Hygiene starts with the individual, looking at personal hygiene, washing your hands, showering, as well as covering your mouth when you cough, things like that. Food preparation, again, washing your hands as well as using clean things, making sure you don't have cross-contamination. And community hygiene on the big picture level, looking at to stop the spread of disease within communities and populations. One of the big important ones there is sanitation and clean drinking water, as well as the disposal of sewage. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.